I tried my key in the front door. It didn't work. I knocked. My younger brother, Gavin, opened it halfway, smirking like he'd won something. "You don't live here anymore," he said. "Get off my property before I call the cops." Behind him, my mother stood with her arms crossed. She didn't say a word. "My name is Madeline. I'm 28 years old." And that was the day I realized I had nowhere to go. I grew up in that house on Maple Street. Nothing fancy. Just a small ranch with a cracked driveway and a porch that sagged a little on the left side. But it was home. I was always the responsible one. The one who helped pay bills during college. The one who took care of Mom after Dad passed. I worked as a property manager for a commercial real estate firm. I wasn't flashy. I drove an old car. I wore the same winter coat for 5 years. My brother Gavin? He was Mom's favorite. Charming. Reckless. Never held a job longer than 6 months. But somehow, he could do no wrong. After Dad died, Mom updated her will. She gave the house to Gavin. Outright. No split. No discussion. She told me I could stay temporarily until I found my own place. I thought I had time. I was wrong. I wasn't the one who got the attention or the affection, but I had something they never saw coming. Patience. And a plan. If you've ever been pushed aside by family, subscribe right now and tell me where you're watching from. I need to know I'm not alone in this. 3 months after Dad's funeral, I came home from work on a Tuesday. The lock didn't turn. I stood there confused, jiggling the key, thinking maybe it was jammed. Then I knocked. Gavin opened the door wearing a grin that made my stomach drop. "Oh," he said. "Didn't Mom tell you?" "Tell me what?" "I'm moving my girlfriend in. You've had long enough to figure your life out." I looked past him. Mom was standing in the hallway. She wouldn't meet my eyes. "Mom," I said, my voice shaking, "you said I could stay until I saved enough for a deposit." "Gavin needs the space," she said flatly. "You're 28. You should have been gone by now." I looked down. My belongings were piled on the front lawn in trash bags. Not boxes. Trash bags. Neighbors were watching from their porches. Mrs. Alvarez across the street. The Callahan family next door. They were all staring. Then Gavin's girlfriend Bree appeared in the doorway behind him. She was wearing my old high school hoodie. She laughed. Actually laughed. "Sorry," she said, not sounding sorry at all. "We just need the room, you know." I walked to my car in silence. I loaded the bags into the trunk, my hands shaking so hard I could barely grip the handles. As I drove away, I passed Mrs. Alvarez. She turned her head. Wouldn't even look at me. Later, I found out why. Gavin had been telling the neighbors I was freeloading. That I'd been mooching off the family for years, that I refused to get a real job. None of it was true, but they believed him. I drove to a budget motel on the edge of town and sat in the parking lot, staring at those trash bags in my rearview mirror. I had no idea that night would be the last time I'd ever beg for anything from them. 2 weeks later, I was scrolling through Instagram. My cousin posted photos from a family barbecue. At the house, everyone was there. Aunts, uncles, cousins, even my great uncle who never left his house. I wasn't invited. I thought maybe it was a mistake, so I commented. "Hey, didn't know there was a get-together. What time's it going till?" Gavin replied an hour later, publicly. "It's for family who actually contribute." Mom liked the comment. I stared at my phone until the screen went dark. The next betrayal came at the grocery store. I was in the pasta aisle just trying to buy food for the week when I heard his voice. Loud, performative. "Oh, look, it's the charity case." I turned. Gavin was pushing a cart with Bree hanging off his arm. Mom was right behind them. "Found a real job yet?" he said. "Or still playing secretary?" I manage properties for... Yeah. Let me guess. You're gonna be rich someday, right? Just like Dad always said. He mimicked Dad's voice. Mocking. Cruel. Bree laughed again. Mom said nothing. She just put a bag of rice in the cart and walked past me like I wasn't even there. I stood there frozen, holding a box of penne. A stranger in the aisle gave me a sympathetic look. Somehow, that made it worse. I left the box on the shelf and walked out. Then, a month later, Mom called. Her voice was sweet. Too sweet. Madeline, honey, I need a favor. I didn't say anything. Gavin needs a co-signer for a car loan, just as a backup. It won't affect you at all. I actually laughed. You kicked me out, I said, and now you want me to co-sign a loan? Don't be dramatic. Family helps family. I was family when you needed bill money during college. Her voice went cold. That was different. Gavin's going through a hard time. He's always going through a hard time. I always knew you were selfish, she said quietly. Your father would be ashamed. I hung up. My hands were shaking, but I didn't cry. Something inside me had shifted. I opened my laptop and started reviewing property listings. In my old neighborhood. What they didn't know was that I hadn't been playing secretary. For 3 years, I'd been working directly with investors, learning the market, attending auctions, studying zoning laws and tax codes. I lived in cheap apartments, drove that old car, skipped vacations, but I was saving everything. 6 months before Dad died, he pulled me aside. Don't wait for them to give you anything, he said. Build it yourself. I took that to heart. While Gavin partied and Mom enabled him, I'd been buying small rental properties outside the neighborhood. Quiet, deliberate moves. I had excellent credit, investor contacts, a growing portfolio. No one in the family ever asked about my work. So I never told them. I wasn't just surviving. I was preparing. And Maple Street? It was about to come up for sale. I met with Diane, my former boss and mentor, at a coffee shop downtown. She slid a folder across the table. You want in on this? She asked. I opened it. Property listings, Maple Street, 4 houses. How much would I need? For 3 properties? About 60% of what you've saved. But you'd control the block. I hesitated. It was my entire safety net. Diane leaned back. You've been safe your whole life. How's that worked out? I closed the folder. Then I opened it again. I'm in. While I was closing deals, Gavin was getting louder. He started bragging online about upgrading the house, new deck, fresh paint, renovations. Turns out he was funding it all with credit cards and a loan from Mom's retirement account. Bree kept posting photos with captions like, finally living in a real home with real family. Mom told relatives I was too proud to come around anymore. I watched it all from a distance, silent. Then my offer was accepted. 4 properties on Maple Street, including the 2 houses directly next to my childhood home. Closings were scheduled for the same week. I didn't tell anyone. They thought I disappeared because I was broken. They had no idea I was buying the whole damn street. I closed on the properties on a Friday. By Monday, I had contractors out there, cleaning overgrown yards, repainting fences, updating porches. Gavin noticed the activity around noon. I was standing in front of one of the houses with a clipboard directing a crew. He came storming across the street. What the hell are you doing here? I didn't even look up. I own this house now, I said. And that one. I pointed. And those 2 down the street. He laughed. Actually laughed. Bullshit. Check the county records if you want. It's all public. He pulled out his phone. I watched his smirk fade as he scrolled. Bree came out of the house, confused. Then Mom's car pulled up. He must have called her. She got out slowly. Madeline, she said. What is this about? I'm investing in the neighborhood. Same one you kicked me out of. You're doing this to embarrass us. I finally looked at her. No, Mom. I'm doing this because I'm good at my job. The one you thought didn't matter. Gavin stepped closer. So what? You're our landlord now? That's pathetic. I stayed calm. No. You still own your house. For now. His face changed. What's that supposed to mean? I've heard through my network that you're 3 months behind on property taxes. He went pale. If you don't pay soon, the county will auction the house. Mom's voice was sharp. You wouldn't... When that happens, I said, I'll be bidding, and I'll win. Gavin opened his mouth, closed it. Mom's voice cracked. You wouldn't do that to your own family. I looked at both of them. You already did it to me. I handed Gavin a business card. If you want to sell before it gets ugly, call me. I'll give you a fair price. But I'm done begging to be part of this family. I turned and walked back to my crew. They stood there on the lawn, speechless. 3 months later, Gavin sold the house. Not to me. To a developer who flipped it. He and Bree moved 2 towns over. Mom texted me, "Can we talk?" I didn't respond right away. I was too busy managing my properties. My rentals were full. The neighborhood was revitalizing. Mrs. Alvarez stopped by one afternoon while I was checking on a repair. She apologized, said Gavin had lied about me, that she was sorry for believing him. We had coffee on the porch of one of my properties. One evening, I drove past my old house. A new family lived there now. Kids were playing in the yard. I felt nothing. No anger, no longing, just quiet. I finally texted Mom back. I'm doing well. I hope you are too, but I don't think we need to talk right now. She didn't reply. I used to think I needed their approval to feel like I belonged somewhere. Turns out I just needed to build my own foundation. If this story hit you, I want to hear yours. Have you ever had to prove yourself to people who doubted you? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if you're watching from somewhere far away, tell me where you're from. Let's build a community where we actually support each other. Hit that subscribe button if you believe people who underestimate you don't deserve a front row seat to your success. You've got this.